good morning and welcome to the fourth hour. It's great to have you along. I got all of these thoughts going on. I want to make the fourth hour better in the new year. And Katie and I were talking about it over the weekend. And as I'm sitting here, I start boom, boom, boom. I start having thoughts and how I want to do things. And I want to do it right now. This is the difficulty for me is I want to do all of this stuff and I want to do it now. Um, it's like, oh, I wish I had started this months ago. So I'm looking for improvements to start making improvements to the fourth hour starting certainly next year. And just a reminder that I'll be on vacation. I am here all of this week. And then next week I will be gone. I am thinking that I would still love to have some interaction with you. And do some live shows. I can do some stuff from home. I'm still hoping to be able to do some stuff with you over the holidays, but I will not be on the air next week, and I will be off, in fact, through the new year. I'll return on Thursday, January 2nd. So I want to give you a heads up that I will not be on the air next week. I've got some stories that I do want to share with you this morning. The George Stephanopoulos story. So he didn't mention this on the program yesterday. Here's what's interesting and what I did not share with you on the air this morning. He deleted his X account. You got a growing number of people who are deleting their accounts on X. And I wonder why. I think he probably would have had this, probably was getting his ass kicked on X. So, this is the story that I shared on the air this morning. Yeah, and that's what I missed. He also deleted his X account over the weekend. So I wonder what the reason was behind that. I can't say I'll be shedding too many tears that George Stephanopoulos is no longer on X. There are a number of stories. This drone story just continues to be huge. In fact, there's a story from Fox. Let's start with this one. I think this is, former CIA officer who's saying this could be a classified exercise, that the U.S. might be testing detection technology. And that's one of the things that I've wondered. And I'll ask this question of you. Is it that the federal government is behind all of these drones? Or is it that the federal government is just this inept? I mean, are they just this inept as to what we're seeing? And that's not meant as to denigrate those who work in the federal government, but because federal government obviously has got some great employees. But I would not be surprised if the federal government, it's news to them. I'm trying to see what this expert is saying. No official explanations being offered. How long do you wait, by the way, for an official explanation? What's a reasonable, what has it been now, a week? It's been at least a week. We've been talking about these drones. She said she would be shocked if the drones were related to the CIA, saying it's not their mandate to operate in the United States. Yeah, they're not. In fact, they cannot do that. U.S. national security officials sought to dispel concerns, going as far as describing nationwide uneasiness as a slight overreaction. Well, you know how you stop the overreaction, right? You know how you stop the overreaction is to be forthcoming with information. It's in the absence of information, as I was telling you all of last week, that people then begin to speculate. And Chris Christie is saying the same thing. Here's this story about at Breitbart. He said over the weekend, without federal information, drone vigilantes are going to start taking down these drones. And, nobody is suggesting that. I think that might be a bit of an overreaction. Donald Trump saying over the weekend, did he say shoot him down or bring him down? Trump said that on True Social over the weekend. So Christie talking about this, he said, I've lived in New Jersey my whole life. This is the first time that I've noticed drones over my house. I was in a restaurant Friday. I had people at the bar coming up to me saying, Governor Murphy won't tell us anything. The president won't. That's because Governor Murphy doesn't know anything. The president won't tell me anything. Do you know? He said, well, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I think this is what happens in our society. He said, you're used to having things so rapidly. If you don't fill that vacuum, then all the conspiracy theories get filled in there. It's exactly what I've been telling you, that without any information to take up, for people to react to, you get conspiracy theories about what this may be. Christie said, I would want our state police to be able to have the authority to bring those drones down, find out why they're doing what they're doing. Of course, you would have to coordinate with the FAA, so which you can do. That's all possible. He says, but what we're going to find, George, is you're going to have individuals acting as drone vigilantes, and they'll start taking them down. That's not what they want, because they're now an important part of commerce, and law enforcement uses them frequently for surveillance and other things. We need to be able to operate in a safe way, and we're not doing that, says Chris Christie. No, we're really kind of not doing that. Hey, Denise, thank you. Denise is saying, good morning. Congratulations on my upcoming marriage, which is coming up. It's coming up fast. Coming up, what, a week from today? Thank you, Denise. I appreciate it very much. Edgy is saying, it's scarier to think that the government is that incompetent, considering that they're saying they don't know what's going on, though, indicates they know exactly what they are. See, I kind of agree with you. They're saying they don't know what they are means they know exactly what they are. Yeah, it's kind of the way I'm leaning too, Edgy. I think you're right about that. By the way, thanks to all of you who watch, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook. I just love having all of you on board. Thank you, my friends. Okay, this was a story actually I wanted to share this morning on the air, and did not do so. So we talk about marijuana legalization. Elton John calling it one of the greatest mistakes of all time, he says. Now keep in mind, Elton John is no stranger to drug use and abuse, and he's talking about it. So he said he was talking about being addicted to alcohol and drugs, and then it was down from there. And he said, you make terrible decisions on drugs, he said. And he said, that's one of the reasons why he thinks marijuana is harmful. I maintain that it's addictive. It leads to other drugs. And when you're stoned, and I've been stoned, you don't think normally. No, you do not, as I recall. It's been a while. Don't be accusing me of being, no, it just sounds like I'm stoned. I don't get stoned anymore, but it may sound like it. Okay. Legalizing marijuana in America and Canada is one of the greatest mistakes, Elton John says, of all time. And then he went on. That's pretty much it. One of the greatest mistakes of all time, legalizing marijuana, he said. So I wanted to share those stories with you. That's really all I've got. The big story this morning is what's going on with George Stephanopoulos and the money they paid to to Donald Trump, $15 million plus an additional $1 million for lawyers' fees. So that's $16 million that ABC is paying. Which is it enough? I'd leave it to you. Is it? I'd welcome your thoughts in the comments. Is it enough? The again $15 million, and again that'll go to whether it's the Trump Presidential Library or something along those lines. I think is the story I had at Fox News this morning. That's what they were saying. So it's not going directly to Donald Trump. It's going to benefit him in some way. So that's just that was the big story in the morning. Hey, Steve Areno's here. Steve says, I'm sure the most painful part is having to admit they were wrong, not the cash. Although going to Trump's library is like a thumb in the eye. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And the apologies that they're having to now on the story, they have to include an apology and at the bottom of the story. That's part of this settlement agreement that they struck up. Then late last week, I think Saturday is when they announced it. So they have to update that to announce that was wrong. And as I said on the air this morning, I think they should have to do that with every story that they publish. I mean, seriously, we may, reminds me of The View, where suddenly, oh, we've got a letter from our attorney here. I want to read the, you know what I mean? Because as often as those folks are wrong, that would not be all that far fetched, right? It just wouldn't be. And really, that's all I got for you this morning. I was hoping to scare up a little bit more. There's just not a lot of news happening beyond what, I've already talked about and shared with you on the air this morning. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I do want to remind you, I will be on vacation then all of next week. I'll return, I think then Thursday, January 2nd is when I'll be back on the air. So my vacation begins next week, and I'm still hoping to do have some live interaction with you on the stream. So if I can do it at the same time, I know a lot of you are currently available at that time, and or at another time. It just however things turn out. So we'll see what happens. We'll kind of play it loose, but I would love to be able to have some interaction with you while I'm on vacation before I return then on Tuesday on Thursday the 2nd of January. But I did want to give you that heads up that I will be gone then, certainly on the air next week and getting into the following week. All right, we'll leave it there for today. I'm going to ask you to please hit the like button before you depart. If you would do that, I'd be eternally grateful. If you've got ideas about improvements other than, finding a new host or something along those lines. I'm hoping to add some things. I want to add, instead of that countdown that I use, the 30-second countdown, I want to come up with a screen, the 4th hour, and have a musical countdown and boom, and then lead into it. So I want to add some more production values now that I've kind of am used to doing it every day and having some interaction with you. Let's see if we can grow it along. One of the other things that I would like to do is Facebook is really good about alerting me as to my top fans. They'll say your top fans on, I forget how they put it. Let's take a look here. Top fans on Facebook. They give me notices quite often. I'm getting close here. Oh, I think it disappeared. Oh, here we go. You have new top fans. Mention them to show your appreciation. And you see me doing that from time to time on Facebook. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, you see me doing that from time to time. I'd like to do it here. And then I want to recycle some of what I'm doing here in shorter bits because these longer. I have promised you that I won't go longer than an hour, and I'm really trying, or excuse me, a half hour, and I'm really trying to hold to that. So that no longer than a half hour will do this. Sometimes shorter, but never longer than 30 minutes. One of the things I'd like to do is bring other folks into what we're doing is to mention them, so on, and show clips where, I'm recognizing the top fans, so on, where I'm doing it more than just a Facebook post, but I'm doing it during the fourth hour. So I am, those are some of the things that I'm thinking about, trying to get my thoughts together on how we might improve the fourth hour into the new year. So thanks again so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. If you got friends, please let them know what we're doing. Invite them to join us, and I'll leave it there. You take care. Have a great Monday. See you again tomorrow. Be good.